Hello, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I'm going to share an intuitive report that I had done called a past life profile. So stay tuned to find out what that is. You're probably wondering, what is a past life profile? A past life profile is an intuitive report which is done with a team of two intuitive reporters. One is the conductor and the other is the intuitive reporter. The conductor will lead the reporter into the deep levels of mind where you will find the Akashic Records. I'll put the word on the screen so that if you want to Google the Akashic Records, you can. If you knew anything about Edgar Cayce, then you might have already heard of Akashic Records and like past life reading that way. But anyway, the way that I had my past life profile done was with this team of two intuitive reporters. And like I said, the conductor is the one who is speaking. In the tape that I have, it's the man's voice, and the intuitive reporter is the one who is entering those inner levels of mind, and that is a woman's voice in the tape. And during the time of the reading, the reporter isn't even conscious at all. So really, the conductor, the one speaking, is acting as her conscious mind. So anything that he says, her subconscious mind will then go find in Akashic Records because he is acting as her conscious mind. And I hope that makes sense. I did talk a lot about the levels of mind in my video called What is 5D, New Earth, and the Event. So go ahead and check that out if you want to know more about the inner levels of mind. But for this video, I just wanted to talk about my past life profile. Okay, so I got this new crystal. It's actually a fossil. It's an Ammonite, which is an Ammonite that is opalized from Madagascar. Isn't that cool? Evidently, this Ammonite, I'll put the word on the screen, but it is an extinct animal from like the dinosaur times. So I think that's pretty interesting. But anyway, I just got this yesterday because my family and I went to a little street festival here in Des Moines, and a lady was selling these and I was drawn to it, so I made the purchase. And as soon as I got home, I cleansed it and I kind of researched it a little bit and then set some intentions. And one of the intentions that I set into this fossil crystal is to help me to receive the most like wisdom and most of my talents from past lives. Because this crystal, some of the energy attributes of the crystal are to bring out things from those inner levels, just to bring them out into your current lifetime. So anyway, it is currently a stormy type night here in Des Moines, Iowa. So it was a good night to go inward the day after I got this new crystal. So I thought it would be a good evening to listen to my very first past life profile that I had done. I don't know. I think it was back in 2009 or 10. It'll say on the tape when we listen to it. I haven't listened to it for a long time. But it was like 10 years ago. I was on lesson 9 at the School of Metaphysics in the Mastery of Consciousness course of study. And at the level of lesson 9, you receive a past life profile for the first time. So this is the very first past life profile I've ever had done. And what they do, the intuitive reporter team, is looking for the most significant incarnation, which means that it's the most significant for what I'm learning as a soul in my current lifetime. So I hope you guys enjoy this past life profile, and I really want you to comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Give me a little feedback. I do have other past life reports that I've had done with other people. Those are called past life crossings. And if you like this, then I'll go ahead and share those with you as well. So here we go. Let's listen to my lesson 9 past life profile.
May 25th, 2009. We'll search for the identity of the entity referred to as Tracy Marie Erickson. Tracy Marie Erickson. Relate a significant incarnation for this entity.
We see this one in female form. We see this to be within the land area of the northeastern part of the United States in New England. We see for this one to have been native to this area, and for this one to have been within the family of the chief of this land area. This looks to be Algonquin, or a branch of this tribal group. We see for the one of Tracy to have been dissatisfied in some regards, dissatisfied with the boundaries or limitations of that of the females within this area. We see that this one identified, although this one was not married or in a union, that this one identified the boundaries of marriage as limiting to the self. We see that this one did want to have more freedom and have a greater capacity to interact with people. This one did want to be a healer and did seek to learn how females within this tribal area could be of benefit to those who needed healing. We see that this one did travel about and did look for herbs and did find many herbs and plant forms which could then be used in healing. We see that this one did seek to meet with women in other tribes, and one of the father, the chief, did allow this to occur. This one did trust that the female was capable of defending the self if this one were accosted by males or by animals in the forest. We see that one of the female did have a canoe that this one did paddle through the waters in this area to reach other land areas. We see that this female did enjoy this time alone. However, the greatest fulfillment was in this one aiding others, as this one would come into a tribal area and seek to learn from the female healers within this area. This one then did get to practice and give the best of who this one was to others. This one did practice this with herbs and plants, as well as with the mind control or mind direction, by being kind and compassionate to others, and by keenly being observant of both the consciousness and the physical activities of those whom this one treated. We see that this one was able to deliver many children in this role. And this one did come back to the tribal area after a period of time and was able to offer these skills to many, especially women in this area. This one always sought to encourage women to go beyond the limitations of the male-ordered society. We see that the tribe was in need of a healer, and this was accepted by the one of the father, and was really, this one of the female was very grateful to the one of the father because of this. We see that there was, after a period of time of when this one was in the 30s, that this one did encounter a male who was willing to take this one as a wife. And this one had noted the female, had interactions with the female, and the one of the male had been looking for someone who was superior in his regard, in how he regarded the females. This one wanted someone intelligent, and this one of the female did meet the needs of the one of the male. The one of the male was very stimulated and did ask the female to teach this one what this one knew. It was in this practicing that there was a great honoring of the intelligence of the one of the female. We see the female and the male did jointly and through desire form a union, a marriage, as it would be referred to. And it was in this that this one grew a great deal. The one of the female grew in giving the self fully to another male, which this one had not done previously. We see that this one was enriched in ways that aided this one to be more receptive to people. And we see that it was through this receptivity that this one increased the capacity to heal. And this was noted within the tribe. We see that the one of the male also benefited from the practices of the one of the female, and did cause there to be a greater receptivity within self to what others within the tribe did have. It was this one who became a teacher of other young males in the tribe, and it was the one of the male who became very receptive to listening to the needs, and had a sense of honoring the needs of each individual. And it was in this regard that this one of the male did embrace the relationship. And there were children born of this relationship. Each one did take a part in teaching the ones of the children. We see that these ones did continue in this regard. As well, there was a spiritual practice that was very unique to these ones. These ones did move within the mind to a much greater degree than most of the tribe's people. And it enriched their career, or their profession, as it would be called. For there was not payment within this, but there was barter and trade and value given in exchange for what each had given. We see that it was through this higher calling that each one did strengthen their union, for it was seen that these ones had built something unique and valuable as well as eternal within themselves. It was when these ones were quite a lot older that these ones decided that they would make the journey to the other side together. And there was much cooperation and preparation for this. Each one of the parents told the children and asked the children to accept this as it was their need and desire. And they moved at the same time willingly out of the physical body and into the inner realms of existence. We see for the one of the female to have been referred to as Tanakla. We see for the one of the male to have been referred to as Wihuchi. Wihuchi. This is all. We see for this time period to be that of 1200. This is all.
What was the significance of this one being born into the chief's family in that lifetime?
Now, this one's soul did see that the opportunities for growth would be available because of the nature of the parents. And there were bonds of affection as well. However, this was the greatest soul desire.
Or what understandings did this one build in that lifetime?
Receptivity.
Very well. What would be the significance of that lifetime to the present lifetime for this entity?
We see once again this one is a leader in her own right. We see that this one does have the opportunity to choose, and does choose how this one will think, how this one will act, how this one will express the self. We see that this one at times has felt limited. However, this one does need to engage the self in a very productive form of giving to humanity at this time. We see that this could be within the area of healing. However, any kind of giving to humanity of this one's own understandings would be very valuable, for all are needed at this point in time. Would suggest that this one engage in the practice of healing, for what this one will learn about the self, and as well then go beyond this, extending it into other realms of life, of cooperation with others. Would suggest that this one bring forth receptivity and be very open and accepting of that which is, knowing that those choices have led this one to the present moment. And those choices are implicit in the value of this one's spiritual growth. This is all.
Just want to ask, what is her purpose in this lifetime?
In general, this would be referred to giving to humanity. And through this one will know the self. This is all.
Does this one have any talents that this one has yet to discover?
Creativity. This one is very creative in nature, in the thinking. And this one could embrace this in many forms, through the arts, through creating with others, through initiating expansion of ideas beyond what presently exists. There are many ways this creativity can exhibit itself. This is all.
When this one experiences conflict within this person's life in the present moment, how can this one cause harmony to exist?
To first cause the harmony within self. And this would occur by stilling the mind and gaining direction of the thoughts. As this one then does become peaceful and still, this one will find a greater outer harmony that exists within this one's life. It is the inner conflict that this one creates through the emotions that is reflected throughout the lifetime in the outer existence or experience. Would suggest receptivity would be an excellent place for this one to begin, for this one to appreciate what each experience in life offers the self, and how this one can bring the self into aiding others. As this one does see the need to aid others and act upon this, this will also be a strong force for harmony. This is all.
Any further suggestions for this entity's soul growth and spiritual development?
No.
Very well. Relax.
So I was an Indian princess who was a healer who also did not want to take any crap from the men in society who thought that they could control me. I think that sounds about right. Anyway, in this lifetime, I can see definitely some of, the things that are the same in me. And I can also see where I can work on some things to bring out some talents that I had in that past life. As you could obviously hear during the profile, there were some questions after. So that way you can get as much from the report as possible. So I really think it's great. You actually, at the School of Metaphysics, at the time that I got my past life profile done, you could ask up to 5 questions about the past life itself. And then you can ask up to 5 questions as well to correlate it to your current lifetime. So I think it's so cool, but let me know what you think down below. I love this stuff, and I think that if you're watching my channel, you probably think it's pretty interesting as well. So, like I said, just comment down below and let me know what you think, because I do have more past life profiles to share with you guys. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson, because Halloween Spooktacular is coming when I am going to upload a video every single day in during the month of October. So you don't want to miss it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.